Hello, welcome back, my lovely listeners, to Wandering Thoughts of a Muse. It's been a while. I have had a busy end of the year and beginning of a new year, and just trying to get through all this work and daily life that is expensive. And yet, I still have so much on my mind that I could talk to somebody face to face with, but knowing myself, I will probably overwhelm them with how eclectic my thoughts can be, and also how I can go off on different tangents and such. And if you are new to this podcast, you should know that I am not always the most articulate person, and also my thoughts really do wander off into a whole bunch of different tangents. Um, and this is unscripted, and I am just chatting away because I have something on my mind and I want to share it with whoever is listening. And if you are listening to my wandering thoughts, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me figure out what I'm trying to say. And well, I just actually a while ago, I discovered that there is such a thing as being an internal processor and external processor. And if I remember correctly, that is how you think, or yeah, how your thinking process goes. And if you're an internal processor, you kind of just keep everything to yourself. You don't really need to talk to anybody, or just verbalize it out loud. And that is what an external processor is. Someone who needs to speak things out loud in order to get more clarification on whatever it is that they're thinking. And um yeah, so you let me know in the comments what you think you are. I would say that for me, I think I was primarily an internal processor, and I feel like I am still a very much like I do everything internally. I'm very introspective and such. But I do notice that as I get older, I kind of do need to speak things out. Like, I need to think out loud to, for one, actually, I didn't even think that this was like that important to me. Is that I do need to speak out what it is that I'm thinking, for the sake of my emotional health, which is very, it's a very unique discovery that I've made recently about myself. And well, I think it is also that I'm just noticing too that I kind of sort of am becoming a new person, or I'm just like growing or like evolving into a new person that is more um what is it called, more just like more open with people. And like it's interesting because as a child, I was very, very, very introverted and did not want to be around absolutely anyone. And see, what that's been something that has kind of held me back when it comes to being a live event artist, fashion illustrator, and visual artist. And eventually I will go into those three distinctive job titles. Um, and I want to say that I think it is just being a live event artist and just having to have built my creative business that has forced me to be um more open with people because I have to be if and this goes like for like anyone that is doing any type of like sales or in their job, you do have to have that social switch on. Um and I think I've had to work on like changing my mindset that don't think of socializing with other people as if it's draining you, and you're like you're bringing your own energy into this, and some people might not be very receptive to you, or they might not they won't like it at all. And then some people really will appreciate you, and maybe that was the reason why I was very, very introverted for majority of my early life. And this is kind of reminding me of today's topic. It's gonna be a little bit about my Mexican immigrant mom, and yeah, like I'm just gonna be talking about her. I've made some more interesting discoveries about myself, and it all stems back to some childhood trauma with my mom, both of my immigrant parents, and like we'll get into it, okay? And I'm laughing because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like why can't I just stop feeling all of this like emotion from my childhood? And just so you know, my childhood was not always very happy. It was rough. And I had happy moments in it, especially with my younger siblings, but I'm not going to lie to you. My parents were very, very hard on me, and uh how should I say this? Like, this is just like how I always like kind of have felt how they perceived me as their eldest daughter. And also, my parents are from Mexico, from southern Mexico to be specific, and they both did not go to school. My mom attended like a government type of school, but it wasn't established until like later in her life. My my dad, he did go to school for a little bit, but I do suspect that he might have might have been like dyslexic or anything, or something like that. I think he still has a form of dyslexia because he does, or I've always noticed that in him, that he does have some difficulties with like language, and then also like reading and writing. And He could possibly be on the ADHD spectrum, and one of the reasons why I suspect he might be or he might have ADHD is just because of how sometimes um he can just have this habit of talking so much. He's not able to like read the room or anything, and actually I don't really know all of the symptoms of ADHD off the top of my head, but I know that some of the people that like in my life that have been similar like that, like in a similar way, where they just like tend to just like talk and talk and talk and talk nonstop, um and they're not really like reading the other person's like vibe or like anything like that. A lot of the times I end up finding out that they get the diagnosis for ADHD, and that's why I'm just like, okay, that might be a symptom. But anyways, both of my parents did not attend school. um my mom, because just the way Mexican culture is, or um at least well, hang on, let me think this through. So my mom wasn't allowed to go to school because of patriarchal reasons that like my grandpa just wouldn't let her go. The only reasons why she should be allowed to go out into the world is if it's to sustain the family, and that was what she was expected to do for a majority of her entire or not, like no like her whole childhood. um my aunts were expected to live that way too. My grandmother was expected to be that way too. And my grandpa did not work. And also he was not very responsible with the finances either. Um, so yeah, that's some of the reasons why my mom did not or just was not allowed to go to school. My dad, um, my dad was, I think where he struggled was with, or what he struggled with was that his family, I say his relatives because and whenever my dad's told the story of, or like just told stories of his relatives and like supposed family, it doesn't sound like they're related to each other. I just know that he was like taken away from his actual birth mom, and I don't know what they told him, but for some reason he seems to just have this disdain for his birth mom, and he's never met her. I know that she's tried reaching out to him, and well, I don't know. Like my dad just kind of was. It sounds like what from what he's mentioned to me. It sounds like um the people who were taking care of him and all these other children, like that's what I'm saying. Like it sounds very confusing. And it also sounds like there was absolutely no maternal figure in that environment. Like it was just like men taking care of him and like the other kids that were like in the group. I don't know what happened. Like I'm just going by what my dad has told me. Um so it's from what he's told me, it sounds like he had this extremely high expectation, or his, like, the people that were taking care of him, they set this really high expectation on him, and he just um couldn't get to that expectation, and he just was not really good at school. And I do think it might be because just his learning style is very different, and most likely nobody knew or took the time to really like help him learn. And so my dad ended up leaving school and just kind of like just has always been like focused on working for himself, or like just like working to earn a living. My dad does not work for himself. He's always worked for somebody else. Um, and also my dad, he is a bit intellectually lazy. Like he doesn't like to he always wants the last word. My mom's the same way, always needs to have the last word, but they don't they don't really have the strongest critical thinking skills, and that's where I clashed with them a lot, especially as a Mexican American girl who went through the education system, and both of my parents did not go through any type of school system. Um, where was I going at? See, I'm like I was saying that my brain tends to wander off into different tangents, but oh yes, I was talking about how like it just gets so frustrating for me that I'm trying to figure out all this childhood trauma, and it always goes back to my parents, and it's frustrating because I've kind of have always had a difficult relationship with both of my parents. Like I'm not close to either one of them. Um and as I continue to just do more with my own creative work, um I am just noticing that a lot of who I thought I was as a very introverted person, I think that version of me existed because I needed to survive being in a pretty toxic household with my mom and my dad. And I'm just seeing that, oh, I actually like talking to people, and I like to laugh, I like to smile at people, I like learning about them, I like making them happy. And when I was younger, I was the opposite. I was terrified of people in general. And yeah, like I just realized that majority of my early life was spent trying to protect myself because that was all I could do at the time. Like um my mom was a very strict disciplinarian. I clashed with her a lot, and just so you know, I have been no contact with her for 2 years now. Life has been really nice. With my dad, though, My dad I get along with a little bit more, but he was not exactly always the kindest to me. Um, to anybody else, he will talk like he will talk their ear off about how the only thing that matters to him is his kids and he only lives for them. He tells that to them, but to me, he's never said anything like that. To me, it's always been, why don't you know how to do this? Why aren't you like that person? Why aren't you good at this? Like, why do I pay for your schooling if you don't know how to translate certain documents? And yeah, my dad unfortunately has always had this mentality that you only you only try to do good or show up as your best self to people who barely know you, or like you do that to, like, you show up as your best to anybody else that's not in your family, but your family, you don't have to try hard. They should just accept the bare minimum of you. um, and yes, oh, I should also mention that my mom and my dad, they both have much more preference for my brother, my younger brother. Um, my younger brother just doesn't have to do much to earn any affection from them, basically. Meanwhile, I had to be a straight A student, be an exemplary community member, accomplish all of these goals and prove to the world that I'm such a good person and I'm such a good representative of my family. And my brother has to has to go to work daily, his job, and that's all he needs to do. Mira, mijito, ay, mijito ya tiene su trabajito, está ganando dinerito. Oh my gosh. My brother, he gets babied a lot by my parents. And I, of course, like eventually like figured out a way to just like not let it bother me, but yeah, that's essentially why I have like zero connection to, or like emotional connection to, my parents, is because, well, they were never pouring into me. They were never like I never mattered to them. The only time I mattered was when I did something that made the family look good, or I proved that I was of use to the family. Um yeah, that I just that was my sole purpose as a kid. And like, while they're expecting this straight A student, and then like just this um this just child of so much prestige and um what is it called, of sainthood. Yeah, that I think it's called, like, referred to as Marianismo, where the girls are expected to be holier than thou, to be exactly like what's their name, Mary. That's what they're expected to be. Meanwhile, the guys, are they can just be whatever. But yeah, that was just like what I think, why I think, why I became more introverted is just because I need to protect myself from all um this daily criticism that they're always giving me, and also my parents, like, not the most emotionally intelligent, or socially intelligent, or just like I'm just saying that they don't want to think hard. They just want to be, they want to feel right, and that's it. And then on top of that, I was a girl. I'm not supposed to be intelligent. That's what men do. I'm not supposed to have a sense of autonomy because that means I'm being too manly. Um, and then at the same time, why would any guy like you? Um, like you're I don't see why anyone would find you pretty. You never talk. You're you're not exciting or anything like that. No one will ever like you. You'll never get married. Um, and you don't know how to cook. You don't know how to take care of your family. So it's always, you're too much of a man, or you're too manly, and you're not womanly enough. And on top of that, you're not even human. You don't have feelings. And I do remember I tried to tell my mom one time to stop insulting me. I don't remember why she was just going off at me. Um, I just remember that she was yelling at me for something. She was just really angry. I don't remember word for word what she said. I just remember I felt so hurt, and I was just trying, I think I was about 8 years old when this happened. I was just like, "Mommy, please, stop. You're hurting my feelings. I don't like how you're talking to me. You're talking to me in a very mean way, and you're saying mean words to me." And then my mom was like, ¿Qué feelings? Tú no tienes feelings. Tú deberías de sentirte mal porque me haces a mí. I don't know. She said que tú debes de sentirte mal porque yo tengo una hija muy fea y muy mala. You should feel bad for me because I have a daughter that's so ugly and so mean to me. And that was just always what she did. And eventually I realized that I should just keep quiet and not say much to her, because both of my parents also are the type of people that whenever there's conflict, one of them has to prove that they're the most physically dominant, or the most they're the loudest person. And oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times I got caught in the crossfires of them just going at each other, arguing, and then I get hurt in the process. um and yeah, I do remember this one time when I might have been about 3 years old, and my dad was teaching my mom how to drive. Um, this was he took her to learn how to drive at, or to practice driving, um in the parking lot of the Phoenix Zoo. And I remember I was just sitting in the back and just just staring outside while my mom was just driving in circles. And then, oh my gosh, you guys, my dad is such a terrible driving instructor. He's always yelling at you. And also, remember that whole thing about how he can be like a little annoying or just like be talking so much, especially when it's getting like disruptive at this point, and it's also like it's like almost like a hazardous thing. So my dad always had this tendency to like always yell at, like he always yells at me, or he yelled at me a lot when I was learning how to drive, and he would yell at my mom when she was learning how to drive too. And well, who wouldn't get upset by that? And um they just started arguing, and I think around this time, like I was already used to them always like arguing and like just like going at it with each other. And I just um I think I just fell no yeah I did fall asleep. I fell asleep in the back seat, and my I hear my parents arguing, but I'm so exhausted, like I'm just like blocking it out. And they end up deciding to like head back home. My dad takes over the wheel, and my mom is still yelling at him. Oh my gosh. And you guys, my mom can yell for so many hours. um it's like probably the length of like, what is it, like the last Avengers movie. Like it's probably around that length or even more. Like she can just, like she never stops. And well, my mom just kept on like arguing with my dad. My dad's arguing with her. I'm in the back, fall like I'm asleep. I'm trying to sleep with all this noise. And my dad also, anytime he's like he's upset, he's mad at something, he has to do something physical, like he gets aggressive. Well, he stepped on the brakes, and he purposely stepped on the brakes like really hard to um like he was trying to prove like a point, or his point. And then also, my dad's always been this type of guy that he's whenever he's really upset, he's like, okay, well, if you want, like if you're calling me, um you're saying that I'm lazy and such. Do you like do you want to know what'll happen if I'm really angry? Like I will show you what'll happen if I'm angry. And so that's basically what was going on. He slammed his foot on the brakes, and I'm in the back seat with no seatbelt, and my 3-year old little body just got flung into the seats, like into like the front seats. And I just remember hitting like the seat so hard, and like my head hitting like some of the metal parts of like where the seat, it was like where the headrest is at. My body just got like thrown into the front seat. And does anyone ask, "Oh, is Dianita okay?" Like that was like what they always refer to me when I was very small. Nobody asked me if I was okay. Nobody came to comfort me. My mom just goes, "Mira, mira que le hiciste a la niña. La, ves, eres un desgraciado, eres un monstruo, eres un..." Like I don't know what else she's saying, but wait, no, she's always like calling him un descarado. Like you, like look at what you did to Dianita. You look at what you did to the girl. You are like terrible person, and then my dad just like gets more angry, and like I just remember just like holding my head, and I was all crying, and I was just really sad because I hit my head. I was so sad, and I was just like trying to like rub my head. And I was just like, I want to go home. And yeah, that was essentially like my early life, and just adapting to my parents' very intense moods and aggression. Um, it didn't help that my brother was also just as unhinged as my parents, and um I will be honest with you, I had a little bit of that unhinged primitive aggression, like a teeny bit when I was very small. Um, but I think because I did go to preschool like early. I think it was because of the teachers that I had that I cared so much about impressing them. I wanted to like show them that I was a good student. I think that was when I was starting to be aware that I need to be on my best behavior, and it would crush my soul if I were to disappoint my teachers. And just so you know, my teachers, I adored all of my teachers. Like especially the ones that I had like in preschool, elementary school, and then also like a little bit more like in middle school and high school. I will say I wasn't exactly close to a lot of to like my teachers like once I like got older. Because just things with my family got very difficult. Uh, I think I just like became more closed off to everyone. But when I was much younger, oh my gosh, like I thought they were gods. Like you couldn't tell me. I thought they were like the disciples of Jesus or something. Like I like adored and idealized my teachers so much. And now looking back, I think it was because I was actually like emotionally cared for, and I was actually being nurtured and treated like a human. Oh my gosh, like I say that because I realized that both of my parents, like, unfortunately, like looking back, I do see that they were like a lot of the things they did were very like they dehumanized me. They might not be consciously aware of what they were doing, um, and they might not understand the language or like even the concept of dehumanizing a person. Um, but that is what they did. And the crazy part is that they experienced this too, but to it was way worse for them than it was for me. Um, and yeah, that was just that's just like something that makes me sad that like I went through so much as a little girl, and the only people who were truly like actually treating me well were or have always been my teachers, and also other community members. And actually I do remember one time in 6th grade my locker got stuck, and I had left some homework in there. and I couldn't get the locker to open, and I got so scared. I was terrified. I really thought that the teacher would like react badly, or like he would even hit me. And I just started like crying, and I was like trying not to cry like in his classroom, but the second like he got to me, and then like he was like trying to collect the homework, I just burst into tears, and I was just like, I'm so sorry, like I don't have my homework, and like it's okay if you if you need to give me a zero. I'm really sorry, I don't have it. It's in my locker. And then like he was just he was just like, oh, it's okay. Like we can get it later. And like he went like after the class was over, um he went to my locker and like fixed it for me, and like we got the homework, and I was just like, he's not mad at me. Like I was like seriously like surprised that the teacher was not like angry with me because I didn't turn in my homework. And now that I bring up like that teacher, I guess like that's kind of like why I was thinking about like my mom today, and just how how my emotions um were always being dismissed, and on top of that hers were dismissed as well. And same with my dad. I am like realizing that both of my parents, uh they really like truly like they don't genuinely know how to connect with people without any criticism, without gossiping or just like talking like really bad about somebody. And without trauma bonding. Yeah, like oh my gosh, my mom was somebody that was always going to curanderos, and for those of you that don't speak Spanish, a curandero is the word for a healer. Um I think the culture and history of curanderos is very very vast, and like um like there's like more variations of curanderismo. um I haven't done too much research into that, but one of my favorite authors who writes on curanderismo is her name is Erika Buenaflor. Love her vibe, and also I love like her books and just like her knowledge and everything. Oh, she also has this she has like these like oh she does like these like spiritual types of like readings. She has this one thing called a soul retrieval, and it sounds intense. I really want to do it someday. But it's basically just like about meeting the past, like your parents, maybe even your grandparents, and then you, like your actual past, like as an individual, and then your present moment, and then your future, or something like that. I'm probably not explaining it right, but I know it just sounds very interesting and like, yeah, tell me why, 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 why I have all these problems, and also why do I have to be the one to fix all this generational trauma? Oh my goodness. Um, but um I'm thinking of my mom, and see, like it's really hard to like like it's hard to like like you have, or for myself, I have like a mixture of like anger, resentment, and so much sadness for my mom. And honestly, like ever since, like for as long as I can remember, as a little girl, I do remember looking at my mom sometimes and just thinking that she looks really sad, and I wish I could do something to help her to stop being sad. But then out of nowhere, she becomes this very unhinged, violent lady that is always hitting me. And she's always yelling at me, calling me names. I don't know if I want to help her anymore. And that was just like my kid brain trying to make sense of the situation and trying to figure out like do I feel like what do I feel for my parents? Like do I feel love? Do I feel sadness? Like angry? Like why? Like I don't understand like why like what like why would I love these people? Because they never seem to like show me any love. Like I the love that I am getting, it comes more from my teachers and other people like that are not related to me. So I don't know. But I was also raised Catholic, and then also I grew up in the immigrant community. Most people have that belief that like your parents are holier than thou. You're supposed to honor your parents and such. And no, tu madre es la que te dio vida. Tu padre siempre cuida de ti y tienes que respetar a tus padres. Nunca debes de hablar mal de tus padres. Like you're supposed to honor your parents. Your mom is the one that gave you life. She gave you the first breath, and your dad provided for you. Like you're supposed to like them. You're supposed to love them. It's your duty as their child. Um and so back to my mom before I go off on another tangent. So I'm thinking of my mom and just how um so much of like her emotions just was invalidated her entire life. And well, no, it's like no surprise why she is the way she is. And yeah. Oh, by the way, I am recording this. Where am I at? Like I'm somewhere in the wilderness, like somewhere on like some hiking trail. But the parking is very nice, and also I'm very close to the road, so if you hear a lot of cars or motorcycles in the background, that is why I chose this spot is just because I felt like being in the wilderness. That is why. But anyways, like back to my mom and being emotionally deprived for so many years and then her eventually doing that to me. Um, Plus my dad never being genuine, like actually being nice to me. Um, I'm thinking of that because when it comes to trying to have romantic relationships, and I think this goes, like, honestly, this goes for any type of relationship and not just romantic, but for this one, I will focus on romantic relationships. When it comes to romantic relationships, you think like if you were a child that was brought up in a very toxic like dysfunctional family, you think you deserve the bare minimum of kindness. Like any tiny little bit of kindness makes you think that like this maybe this person might be the one. Like you get fixated on that person well, that person even seeing you and being kind to you, like people are just kind, like out of the, like just because they want to, not because I have to be something for them, not because I have to do something for them. Some people are just nice, or like just because they want to be nice. Like, what is that? Um, but yeah, it's not, like that is what happens when, or that's one of the repercussions of having grown up with very dysfunctional parents. Um, like you don't even know what genuine like warmth from another human being feels like. You don't even know that you're allowed to be happy with somebody, and that that person like should bring some happiness to you. Um, and this also makes me think of like why my parents like got together, and it really was because like of survival. My mom Okay, so for my mom, this is where like one of the reasons why like I do feel like a lot of sadness for her, because she wasn't allowed to go to school. My grandpa was just extremely controlling to her. It's Mexican society, like back in like the 70s and 80s. Um, it's so patriarchal, and on top of that, she is from Guerrero, and oh, it, and also there's just a long history of mistreatment towards women and children. And my mom was, she did go through that. She experienced a lot of mistreatment as a child. And it's sad to think that just like since, like for as long as she's been existing on this world, like she's always been in that fight mode. Like she's never felt like truly protected by another person, and like she's most likely in a state of like hypervigilance, but it's like overdrive. And it also makes sense why when she would get angry at me or like try to punish me, usually it was that hypervigilance being triggered in her, and that's like how it was playing out. And like me being small, she just saw like she saw that this was an easy person to, this was an easy being, rather. I don't think she doesn't even see me as a person. And like I I've said this multiple times that my mom always refers to me as her demon child, that I will one day pay for all my sins when I meet God. And where she got this, like I don't know where she got this. She got this wooden sword that's supposed to be a replica of the sword of Archangel Michael. She has tried swinging that at me, and oh my goodness, like I will definitely do another episode on what it's like living with an extremely religious parent that sometimes is not doing things in a rational way, and it's very scary. Um, but I will save that topic for another time. And so again, yeah, my mom does not see me as a person. This is one of the reasons why we are no contact, and why like I will never talk to her most likely. um my mom doesn't see me as a person, and oh my goodness, I just lost my train of thought. But I let me backtrack a little bit. Think, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, yeah, I think when I was a little girl, I think so much of her traumas, like not like the trauma of having left your home country and then being in a completely new country. And oh my gosh, you guys, I was with my mom when she was trying to navigate being here in Arizona, not knowing English very well. And I did see that she struggled a lot, and my dad really did not do anything to make the situation better. Both of them were really not like they really like just were never in a relationship type of mindset. Like they really were just always like operating like from their ego and just like also just being too wounded with like two adults with like inner child wounds and such. And like again, like my mom went through that whole trauma of leaving her country, coming here, and then trying to adapt to this society. That was a huge like trauma in itself. And then she also had this all this trauma from when she was a little girl, being forced to work to provide for the family, and also growing up in an impoverished community. And it's a patriarchal society, very misogynistic. Um, and just like I feel sad for my mom. Like my mom really had nothing like she had no way of like having any sort of freedom for herself. And then also like because she was in an she was growing up in an impoverished community, it's dangerous, you guys. Like I had the freedom to wear to wear dresses. I was allowed to have new shoes. I was allowed to wear comfortable, clean clothes. If my mom tried to wear something new, if she even tried putting effort into her style, into like just she just wants to play around with her beauty as most girls do when they're young, it's dangerous. Some women might feel very critical. They might feel the need to criticize a young girl and accuse her of trying to be fast. So she's not allowed to put in any effort or to even like enjoy her own beauty. And then also, if you do that, you're inviting men to look at you and to just do what they want with you. So you got what you deserved. Unfortunately, that's the mindset of a lot of people, or that's what it seems to be from the specific part where my mom is from. And also, um, while my mom is from Guerrero, mm, it sounds like she and her family were in a more secluded part, like a very secluded community. Not quite a city like say like Iguala or like Acapulco, like not a very well-known city. Like it sounds from what my mom said, it sounds like it honestly sounds like there was just like not much like even in that little spot where she was at. Like she didn't even know what the concept of religion or God was until she actually like set out to go into a nearby city and got a job there. And the people who gave her the job, and she was like 13 when this happened, Um, the people that gave her a job were the ones who introduced her to religion and to the concept of God. And from then on, she started going to church more frequently, and that was something of hope. And that was something that gave her an idea of, oh, this is how I want to be in the world. Like this is how I want to be like as a woman. And I know that like the church has like some whack ideas of like what like a man and woman should be, or just like who a person should be based like off like the gender that others think they should be. Um for my mom, that was at least like a starting point for her. And I mean like she was 13. That was just like that was the only way like she kind of got to see that, oh, like I don't have to live the way like my dad, like her, like my grandpa, like her dad is expecting of her. Like women in the modern world go out, they can go to school, they can have a career for themselves. They can wear fancy clothes, they can wear um beautiful jewelry, they can earn their own money for themselves. And that was that was where my mom just started to realize that the world is much bigger than what my grandparents kind of kept her secluded to. Um and then, well, now she has to figure out how to blend in with like the modern world. And I if I remember correctly, she mentioned that um the first time that she became aware of how poor she and her family were was when she got that job at 13. If I remember correctly, I believe it was just like a little grocery store or something like that. And um it was other people who pointed it out to her that, oh, you're dirty, look at your shoes, like look at your clothes, like you're dirty, like you know, like, and you look messy. And that was like her, that was how she realized like what, like where she was like socially. And can you imagine like how hurtful that must have been? And well, like after that, like I think that's when she just was very determined to try to always look very presentable. And it's very interesting because she also did that with me when I was when I was a little girl. And um or she just like she placed that expectation on me that I always have to look very presentable because you just don't know how people might react if you don't look presentable. And there's for sure it's like something that I don't like, that's like something that I don't exactly like I have other thoughts on that, and I don't agree 100% on that idea that you can't have like absolutely any sort of like self-expression in your style. But to my mom, that meant a lot to her. She aspired to be educated. She wanted to just look respectable. But because of just the way society was at the time in that part of Mexico, she just had to figure like some other way like to work with it. Um and so then comes along my dad. My dad also has like all this crazy like trauma and such, and like that's another story like that I can go into. Like I think for now I'm gonna focus on my mom. um well, my dad is not exactly, my dad is like, he likes looking good for others. He likes to be praised for looking like a very good, like honorable man, you know? He like that's why he does the things he does and says. Like he does it because he knows other people will say good things to him and they will think better about him. Is that always what he um or what am I saying? He wanted, yeah, he always wanted to do that, like to just show that good and like generous side of himself to others, but he can't sustain that in private or with people he claims to love. Like it's only like I'm only supposed to be good to you um to attract you, and then after that like I just leave you. My dad had that mentality, and also he still is that way. He was that way my whole childhood, where he didn't like putting effort into interacting with me or my brother. And if he did interact with us, it was only um when we were doing something that he liked. So yeah, that was my dad. And so my dad comes into the picture, and he, well, now looking back, I it sounds like my dad was love bombing my mom, and my mom just, she didn't know any better. She thought my dad was going to be this sweet, this kind, and this generous with her all the time. She thought she was gonna have such a nice marriage. She thought my dad would be like such a great person, like to be a dad. The second they get married, he's like just like he gets so lazy. He just like he does like he's not like he doesn't know how to actually care for a family. And now my mom just like all like that whole fantasy that she had, that illusion, that dream, what was sold to her as a dream, it's not looking too good. And she doesn't know why. Like, why is this happening? Like, I thought you were so like, where like, aren't you supposed to like take care of me? Or like, why aren't you like, you don't even want a better house for us? Like, you don't even want to have anything better or nicer for yourself. And my mom, just like, she was young, and well, she was in her late 20s. um but my guess is just that my mom just did not, most likely she didn't have a whole lot of like relationship experience, and then on top of that my mom most likely just never really had anyone like truly like looking out for her, um and just letting her know that there is a concept of boundaries and like all this stuff. Like she just like was not very experienced in relationships, most likely. Um and well, she kind of just was very, very disappointed with my dad. And then on top of that, because it's a patriarchal society, mm, my grandpa only let her go because now she is property of my dad. Now, oh, like it's like you're just exchanging property. Okay, like she's not my responsibility. You take care of her now. And yeah, so like you're gonna take care of him, and then you're also obligated to take care of us. And that was my mom. Like that was like what the expectation of my mom was like with her own family. And she has no actual autonomy. And also like a lot of people say that you should just leave a toxic family. It's not always like it's not as easy like as it seems to be. Um, my mom had her siblings. She probably wanted to still stay close with them. And by the way, I will mention this now. My mom, unfortunately, was a very mean person to her siblings. My aunts have told me that she was a bit of a bully. Not a bit of a bully. She was a straight up like she was just mean to them. And again, it just sound like when what from what they've mentioned to me, it sounds like it's just a crazy amount of trauma that she experienced like just so early in her life. She is always in that fighter mode. Like she is like she's never like she doesn't know what that state of calmness and like just tranquility with life. She's always on fighter mode. Like she can be like happy, she can have like still have like like um more like serene moments, but the second like something like triggers that hypervigilance or just triggers that like defense mode, it like she will stay in that mode for such a long time. And like I just feel sad like um to think that so much like just so much happened to my mom that she just like that she just goes into like autopilot whenever um her defensive side is triggered, and she just like she doesn't know how not to be in that mode. um and back to the story, so then I come along. uh my dad says he's gonna try to do he wants to move us to the US. And also I kind of feel like my parents are lying about the reasons why they came to the US. The reason why I suspect that is just because my dad just um my dad's not exactly like a caring person. Like he's not a very considerate person. So that's why I'm just like I personally don't think that you wanted to come to the US for me and my mom. I think somebody sold you a story and you thought it was you. My dad's really bad with boundaries. I feel like somebody pressured him into going or into deciding to go over to the US, and he doesn't know how to say no, or he's really bad at saying no, and on top of that he's very easy to influence. My dad just like whoever was telling or giving him that idea, most likely it was a lot of pressure. Like, you're supposed to take every opportunity, like hazlo ahora, or like, oh, aprovecha, or I don't know if I'm saying that right. Like, my brain's like scattering a bit. But like, take advantage of your opportunities, like that type of, like, whenever someone has tried, like, or whenever someone has like been that way with my dad, like trying to pressure him to make a choice, my dad is just like, he will do it. So that's just my theory, but who knows? Maybe a part of him did care. I don't know. um, well, I'm about to come along, and so my dad decides that he's gonna take me and my mom to the US, but he's gonna leave her first, and he's gonna go to the US by himself. And he's just gonna figure out how to have enough money so that way he can bring me and my mom. And if I remember correctly, I don't believe my dad was present when I was born. I believe he was in the US. I think he came back. Um he came back to Mexico because someone in that family that he says he was with, someone passed away, and that was the reason why he came back. And then I was born. Um or like I had been born by then. Um and then that's when he's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna take both of them. My grandmother did not want my mom and dad to take me, but my mom um was very, like, she wanted to keep me close to her. She didn't want to leave me behind. And so we ended up going together. And also I'm realizing that I'm kind of making this a, like, where I come from type of like storyline now, and I'm trying to get back to my main point, which was about like emotions and such. Um So yeah, my mom just went through a lot that could go on for hours. But overall, and like again, my dad also went through so much. That is why they both are just very emotionally illiterate, and why they could not be there for me. Like, they didn't know how, and also the examples that they had in their early lives, it was, you all, like, if you, their idea of love is, or yeah, like, their idea of love is, you criticize and criticize, and you never you never you never show any kindness to this person. Like, it's all about survival. Like, do you have any value to this family? Can you sustain this family? Can you sustain me when I'm older? Like, that's what their concept of love is based off of. And also, because of that whole religious influence, they know they can't be honest um about what they really feel, and they have to say what seems like the holy answer, or the answer that is closest to godliness, um because they don't want to look bad. And this is why I would feel and like describe being their daughter felt like it was a civic duty. Like you're just supposed to care about your daughter because you have a daughter, and we don't, like, we as the government, the community, we don't want to take care of her, so you have to take care of her, because that's what God says good parents do. That's essentially like what I feel, or what I would describe being their daughter is like. And now going back to how to then enter the next phases of life and have your own family and such, or like have you like or enjoy relationships. um I realize that I am the first in my family to actually enjoy romance. I can actually enjoy and adore being with another person. And I can trust that that person is going to care for me. And like they they actually want to care for me and be kind to me. And my parents just they don't they've never experienced that, and it's crazy. It's what is the word, like very like paradoxical, is that the word? I'm not sure. Again, disclaimer, I'm not the most articulate, and also my vocabulary sometimes is good, sometimes it's not. um if you can articulate what I'm saying better, go ahead and do so in the comments. But um yeah, like I just seeing that to even have, or to even be able to enjoy romance or friendship with someone, I can actually be emotionally present in that, in those connections. Both of my parents, like all like the people, all of their friendships, and their like relationship standards, it's all based off of trauma bonding and survival. No such thing as emotional connection or intellectual connection. And like it's very primitive, honestly. Like it's just like, are they cute? um do they match up to the societal expectation of what the ideal man or woman should be? If so, that's all I need. Or like that's the person for me. And then also, I have the freedom to enjoy being with a guy that does not see me as property, that this person, I would hope, actually likes me because they love every aspect of me. Or like they like, I'm sure like I'm still annoying to some people. um but um yeah, like I don't have to be with somebody that only objectifies me or sees me as a possession of theirs. And, well, I think, like, going back to how, um, how my, like, like, just being in the household that I was in, it was very dysfunctional, very high conflict. And I see now that as a child, I was terrified of the world. And I kind of, when I was like entering adulthood, I kind of had this like subconscious expectation that the world would be exactly like my mom and dad, or it would be exactly like what they described, or that like it would be exactly what they described me to me, that the only thing, like, why anyone would ever like you is because you do something for them. Um, that's what makes you worthy. Um, like, what can you do to, like, you, they just like you're just supposed to like be useful in people's lives. Um, and so now that I'm older and I'm very thankful for my creative work, that it's it's helped me, like, it's actually helped me come back to who I truly am, and like just allow me to express myself authentically. And like, wow, like, you you guys did a lot to, like, you guys, I'm referring to like my parents. My parents did so much to to destroy that authentic part of me. And, or maybe like not destroy, but it was like the process of erosion, just their criticisms, just constantly their criticisms, their anger, and um their their actions just constantly eroding any little bit of joy that I made for myself, any sort of happiness. And like it does like make me sad, honestly, that wow, like you guys, or like my parents, you really expected me to just never have any sort of fulfilling life. No relationships, no no community. You're just supposed to be, or like I was just supposed to be what what um what they believed I should be. The version that they want to, that the version in their head that I should be like I'm not allowed to have, or I'm not allowed to be an actual person to them. Um and I feel like now moving forward, I hope that I keep finding kinder people, and that it gets easier to let go of like familial anchors. Yeah, and just like let go of my parents finally. And yeah, I think that like I think I might be running out of things to say, or like my brain is just like wow, like I talked a lot. Like that's enough for the day. um let's see. What else do I have to say? It's just yeah, like that. What else like inspired this is just that to the romantic connections that I've had, and like I'm still like cultivating some. um I'm very thankful for having known the romantic connections I've had in the past, and for the new ones that are blossoming now, because it's a sign that I'm still alive, and I have that freedom to feel adoration for another person and to feel adored by someone else. And I just feel I feel very thankful, and also that I'm very thankful that I never disconnected so much from my deep sensitivity and just my range of emotions. Um because that's what you need to connect with another person, is to be brave enough to show that person that you care about them and you adore them. And do you adore them, or do like will you adore me back too? Like that's like I hope I'm making sense. It's just like wow, like I can feel things, and like it doesn't matter if it doesn't work out or not. Like I was able to love, and someone loved me back too, and it was nice. um but yeah. Uh let's see. Do I have anything else to say? I'm not sure. I think let's see. I guess I just hope I'd hope to keep doing more with my creative work and meeting good people. And for any of you that are listening, I truly mean it, that like I am very very thankful that you took the time to listen to me figure out how to articulate these thoughts of mine. And for commenting too. Thank you so much for your compliments and for anything you like to add to the conversation. Just thank you so much because you really do not have to like pay attention to me or like even acknowledge me, but you took the time to listen to me. And like, thank you. Thank you for doing that for me. And I also hope that you're able to find real, like, genuinely good people and um have ways to feel like emotionally fulfilled or cared for, or just I just wish you lots of love and joy. Sorry, I'm thinking of like the Whitney Houston song and um and I hope that just like it's you're able to sustain it in like whatever form that comes to you. Um because I think it's really easy to think that you'll just find true connection or like true like it it I think nowadays because of social media and just like how the world is now there it gives the illusion that true connection and like happiness like and like all these things that are like do it that it does exist but it exists in like rare in like it's like a rare thing like to truly find like the most fulfilling types of like connections like just ones that just like bring you like a lot of joy like they're just expanding your world basically those don't come by as easy as like maybe like social media makes it seem um and also sometimes you go through times where you're you just have to be by yourself for a while because you're not able to find the right people yet or it's just like one of those phases where you just need you're just gonna have to like learn how to be at peace with your solitude um and I think that's kind of one thing that I am grateful for having been primarily a very introverted person as a young girl is that I did learn to feel very comfortable and and like at peace with my solitude. And now at almost 29, um I feel like that part of me is starting to just step back and now moving forward it's like my soul is so excited to meet people like who will I meet I'm so happy that now like I look so forward to relationships um even if there is a high chance that I will still meet people who are not quite for me they're not very like kind people or whatever it is like there I know that that exists and it doesn't matter I'm going to focus on the few or like the good like I'm gonna try to focus on the good and this is just like what comes with the game of life, you know? um and I think that is a good way to end this episode. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish you all a happy or a lovely night, or day, wherever you are, and whatever time of the day you're listening to this. Um, let's see. Oh my gosh, like I don't know why I'm so awkward at ending these episodes or these podcast episodes, but you have listened to Wandering Thoughts of a Muse, and if I didn't mention this at the beginning, I am your hostess, Daydreaming Muse, and